Hello, everyone. My name is Drew Stegall, and today we are going over Brightspace a little bit. This is your Thursday lecture. I have it set where I see it as a learner, so I see exactly how you guys see it. Before we begin, you're going to want to get out a pen and paper to write this down, just so you don't have to watch this whole video over and over again. We're going to go ahead and start off with this homepage. As you can clearly see, this is very simple. We got the important information here. There's the syllabus, the calendar, and then the outline examples. And that's what we're mostly focusing on today. Go back to the home. Every Wednesday for you guys, we're going to have weekly videos. Those are going to be extra. They're going to help you kind of understand more of the discussion of the topic that we're discussing that day. It's not videos that I've made. It's going to be videos that you can find on TED Talk or YouTube, but they're going to be right here in this folder. Just like today, this is a weekly lecture on Thursday. And as you can see, weekly lectures on Thursdays. This is where you're going to find videos like this. Most of the information that you're going to need for your midterms and a lot of the things I grade on for your speeches will be found on these Thursday lectures. So you're going to need to watch them just every week. You could watch them in your free time. I'm not going to ever take them down, but they're going to be right here so for you guys to rewatch. But Thursdays are when you're supposed to watch it, because on Friday we open up the weekly quiz. Weekly quizzes will be found right here. It's just going to be one question, something very simple, and it will help prepare you for midterms and finals. So we have the weekly quizzes here, and it's very simple. You should do that every Friday. It'll be open from 12:01 Friday and close at 11:59 on Sunday night. Okay, that's pretty simple. So let's go over some of this important information real fast. We're going to start off with the syllabus. We went over this a little bit in class the other day, but just in case, I want to go through it right here where you can see it. Introduction to speech communication. My name is Andrew Stegall. There's my cell phone number. The most important thing that you need to know is that I respond primarily through the instant messenger, which is up here, right here. Instant message. You click it, it opens up a little window. And then, let's see here, friends. I probably won't be your friend. And you can message me from here. It looks a little different for you guys than for me, but this is where you're going to message me all the time. Okay. And I'll respond. I'll try every 24 hours. Okay, so that's how I want you guys to message me, not this email button, but this instant messages. Start getting a little click happy. So back to the syllabus. Our objective is to create critical thinking skills, communication skills, teamwork, and personal responsibility. By the time you finish this course, you should have these things learned. A grade of 0 for the test or assignment is an F. You could fail if you don't turn things in. Acceptable student behavior, no making fun of people, no bringing in firearms, alcoholic beverages, or fireworks into the classroom. Pretty simple. But no name calling, no talking to each other during the class whenever it's not time to talk to each other. Let's see. This is pretty much stuff we've all covered already. This is the point system. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 speeches. Speeches are 60% of your grade because this is a speech class. 60% of your grade comes from speeches. The next comes from participation. That's coming to class, participating in the games that we do. We'll do a couple games, but it's also not sitting there on your phone. You have to be participating, actively listening. Even when it's not your turn to speak, you have to be listening to the speaker that day. We used to have attendance. Now we're going to do basically attendance quizzes, and there'll be weekly quizzes. There's going to be 12 total starting this Friday. And what you can do, if you go out of town, if you miss a lecture, most of this information is going to be on these video lectures anyway. But say we have a lecture on a Monday or important information on a Monday, it's a communication class. You need to communicate with your teacher, me, and you need to communicate with your teammates. You need to communicate with your classmates and maybe get some notes. This is to help you talk to more people. We have a midterm, that's 10% of your final grade, that's 100 points. There's going to be 1,000 points total. So every time there's 100, that's 10% of your total grade, and then a final at the very end of the semester. Another important thing that's special and different will be the group project. That's going to be near the end of the entire semester. And I have a whole lecture where all I talk about is the group project. So we'll get to that here later. For an A, you have to have 900 to 1,000 points. For a B, 800 to 899 points, so on and so forth. If you have questions about the syllabus, please contact me. Next, we're going to go to the next part of the important information is the calendar. This is where you'll see the calendar. Notice how it's all PDF, so it pops up right away. This is where you go to see what's going on. The only difference is on President's Day, I was told you do have class. So we will meet Monday for President's Day, and I'll get that fixed soon. You guys will not have school on Valentine's Day because it's a school snow day. And so have fun with your Valentine. There's spring break here. The green indicates that it's a class day. The yellow means that it should be a class day or we meet in person, but we end up having a holiday, spring break, snow day, or a teacher service day or a testing day. So that's what that means. Okay. And now this is going to be the bulk of today's lecture is outline examples. This is where you go. This is very simple. We have the simple outline and the expanded outline. We talked about the simple outline earlier. Today we're going to talk about the expanded outline. So I'm going to, open it up right now. I'm going to go ahead and open up my Google Drive. You need to make your Times New Roman numeral, and I'm going to set the font to 12. We're going to start off with your name. My name is Pastor Drew. So I'm going to do Drew Stegall. This is my class, and I want you to put, we need it double spaced. So click here, make it double spaced, Drew Stegall. Pastor Stegall, speech 1311. Today's the 25th for me. And there we go. That's the header. I'm going to hit center it up. The title. So for today's speech, I'm just going to I'm going to think it up just so you see the thinking process that I have. We will do how to make soda bread. It's a family recipe that we've had. It's very interesting. It's how to make Irish soda bread. There's my title. I'm going to hit enter. Don't want it in the middle. I'm going to go over. I do Roman numeral 1. So Google's funny. I usually do the Roman numerals first. Okay, so then it is intro. And then at the bottom, we're going to put conclusion. Weird. Wonder why it's doing that. Never mind. I'm going to do it this way first. Intro. First point, second point, third point. There we go. That makes it better. You see how they're all lined up now? Intro, conclusion, 1, 2, 3. There has to be 5 Roman numerals total, just like for this simple outline. We start off with the intro, then we have our 3 main points, and then the conclusion. I had to put an A there, otherwise it won't let me go down to the 3 and 4. Next, we have to add, you see it does it automatically. Let me show you that again. You hit enter and then tab. It does A, capital A. Let me show you it one more time. Enter. I don't need another 2, so I hit tab. And there we go. And so for soda bread, we need, our 3 main points will be ingredients. Preparing the dough. And then finally it'll be cook and serve. But remember, we have to do the hook and the thesis statement. There we go. So for this, here's what I want. It needs to be, for a hook, it could be a quote, it could be a story, it could be, it has to be something that draws in the audience. But we're only going to tell the first part of it, and we'll conclude in the conclusion, because we want people to listen to the whole speech. So if we tell a whole interesting story right at the beginning, they're like, oh, that was a good speech, I'm done listening. So it's going to be just part of a really good story that we're going to wrap up at the end. So mine will be Irish heritage. And I'm just putting that because that helps me remember what it is. You do not want to write it word for word. Okay, so Irish heritage. So my hook would look like, I just found out that I am over a quarter Irish. My mom took one of those DNA tests and found out she is over half Irish. So I decided to look up some Irish recipes, and you'll never guess what I found. It's soda bread. And as I was looking at the recipes, I found out my great grandma used to make soda bread for us as a kid. And now we're going to go into the thesis statement. That's my hook. It kind of got people interested in soda bread, and I'm going to wrap up the story at the end. Thesis is, hi, and this is where you're going to write it out. My name is Drew Stegall, period. Today, I will inform you on how to make Irish soda bread. Period. Okay, pretty simple. Then we got our ingredients. We got our 3 main points. First, I'm going to tell you the ingredients that you need in order to make soda bread. Second, I'm going to talk about preparing the dough and how it's different than regular dough. Finally, I'm going to tell you how to cook and serve this delicious Irish dish. See, first, second, third. Here, you didn't see my fingers. First, second, third. They're called signposts. It tells the reader or the listener what's happening. First, we're going to talk about the ingredients. Okay. Second, we're going to talk about preparing the dough. Finally, we're going to tell you how to cook and serve. Easy. And then you have to say it. I'm count off points. First, second, third. Okay. First is the ingredients. Okay. Does it again. A. So I'm going to pick out 3 main points. Because Google's funny, I have to do that first. I'm sorry, it's confusing. If you don't want it to be that confusing, Word does it better. Pages does it worse than Google. So if you want it to be a little easier to make it go A, B, and C to help with the formatting, use Word, not Google Drive. So I want 3 main points. And then now this is the difference between a simple outline and expanded outline. Simple outline only has A, B, and C, just like that. Okay, an expanded outline tabs over and has a 1 or a 2. See, so I picked 3 subpoints within the Roman numeral 2, A, B, and C, and then I'm going to add subpoints. You see 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, and there you go. So ingredients are normal ingredients. For today, I think I don't need 3. Oh, you can't see me. I don't need A, B, and C. I will just need A and B. You could have as many subpoints as you want, A, B, C, D, E. But you have to have a minimum of an A and a B. Okay, you have to have a minimum of an A and a B for every point. Today, I'm just going to do an A and a B, so I'm going to get rid of my C. Normal ingredients and special ingredients will be my subpoints. And if this was a simple outline, I wouldn't need to go deeper. But I'm going to go a little deeper and make this an expanded outline. You want to use an expanded outline. I say that really, really powerful. Expanded outline. You want to use an expanded outline whenever you're writing a really big paper, whenever you're writing a really long speech, whenever you guys do your group project, you will need to turn in an outline, and it will probably need to be an expanded outline just to get all of the information that you need. Okay, so normal ingredients is flour, sugar. Special ingredients will include buttermilk and baking soda. Now, this is important. You have to have balance. If you do an A and a B here, you cannot do an A, B, and C on your third Roman numeral, on your second main point. It has to be even all the way through. And that's the same for these subpoints. You see on the 1 and the 2, I have only 2. So for this next, for the special ingredients, I only have 2 subpoints. Okay. If you want for an expanded outline, all I count for is for the 1 and the 2. If you want to expand it even more, you can. And it's pretty simple. You hit enter and then tab again, and there it is. And then you could put something here. I'm not going to do that today because I'm writing an expanded outline on how to make bread. So I do not need that expanded, but you could keep expanding to a lowercase a. And then look, you can expand again, and it does it automatically for you. And again, and again. You see, it just keeps expanding for you. And that's the format that we do. But it has to be balanced. And whenever for like the midterm, if I say I need an expanded outline, it has to have the 1 and the 2 minor points. Okay. It doesn't matter what outline you do. The intro stays looking just like this. There are no subpoints. There are no sub-subpoints within the Roman numeral 1 or in the conclusion number 5. It's an A, B, C. Now, if we're in our second Roman numeral, it's we have an A, a B, and a 1 and a 2. Okay, it has to be balanced, and it could be more, but it cannot be less than A and B. Okay, next, I'm gonna go through and write my third point. Let's do, it has to be exactly what I put as the second point here. So preparing the dough, exactly word for word. It cannot be different. So because I only have an A and a B here, I'm gonna go ahead and mark it A and B. And I had 2 subpoints here, so it has to have 2 subpoints. 2 subpoints. There we go. You see? Very simple. So preparing the dough. How would I prepare the dough? Oh, mix ingredients. Special treatments. There we go. So for the first part, Irish soda bread is pretty easy to make. You got to mix the ingredients just like what you would use for regular dough. You're going to mix the normal ingredients. And then you're going to mix those special ingredients that I talked about, the buttermilk and the baking soda. But there's also some special treatment. You need to add butter. Just like with normal bread, you need to add butter. But for Irish bread, you need to keep the butter cold and cube it. So I'm going to put cold butter. You mix it in still, but it needs to be cold and not melted like for other recipes. That's very important. And something else that you do that makes it very special is I like to add raisins. You could add any kind of fruit, but I prefer to add raisins. And it's very important that you do it when you prepare the dough and not after. Otherwise, it's not going to go in the dough. So let me kind of go through. I'm going to give you the speech as if I'm doing it right now. And I'm going to go through my outline. I'm going to use my mouse here to show you exactly how I do that. I just found out last year that I am very Irish. My mom took a DNA test and found she was over 50% Irish. So I wanted to look at really interesting recipes for my culture, for my Irish heritage, and I came across soda bread. And as I found out, I've had soda bread before. My great grandma has made soda bread my whole life. Hi, my name is Drew Stegall, and today I will inform you on how to make Irish soda bread. First, we need the ingredients. Second, I'm going to tell you how to prepare the dough. And finally, I'm going to tell you how to cook and serve. First, I'm going to tell you about the ingredients that you need. There are normal ingredients and special ingredients. For the normal ingredients, there's flour, there's sugar, there's eggs, just normal stuff that you'd have in bread. But Irish soda bread is different, and that's what makes it soda bread. I was actually kind of disappointed it didn't use Coke or Dr. Pepper. It actually uses baking soda. So it uses baking soda and buttermilk. There's no yeast, and that's what makes soda bread so special, is that back then they didn't have yeast. They couldn't find it, and so they used the chemical reaction, just like a little volcano, that mixes buttermilk and baking soda, and that's what causes the bread to rise. So those are the ingredients that you're gonna need. Second, let me tell you how to prepare the dough. First, you're gonna mix the ingredients just like you would normally. You're gonna mix the normal ingredients first, the flour, the egg, the sugar, the spice, everything nice. And then second, you're gonna add the buttermilk mixture, the buttermilk and baking soda mixture, and that's what causes it to rise. Now, here's the deal. You need to do something special for soda bread that you don't normally do for other bread. It's an Irish recipe, so you gotta get some Irish butter. They sell it at United. They sell it at almost every grocery store I've been at. But you don't melt it to mix it. In fact, you don't just throw the whole stick in either. You have to cube the cold butter. It's really important that you do that because it adds pockets of warm butter after you cook it and makes it amazing. Another thing that is special for preparing the dough is you add raisins. I like to add raisins or cranberries. You add dried fruit before you put it in the oven, and it makes it taste fantastic. Finally, I'm going to tell you how to cook and serve. Cook and serve. So that's what my speech is sounding like so far. So I only have an A and a B, so I'm going to make a placeholder for the A and the B. And everything else has 2 points, so I got to do 1 point, 2 point. If I add a 3 here, I'd have to go back and add a 3 to all of this. And that makes it balanced, and that's what we're going for. We want a very balanced speech. So we got an A, we got a B, we got a 1 and a 2, and then a 1, and then a 2. Cook and serve. So cooking instructions, which is like the baking, serving. I mean, that was the easy one because I had it right there. So baking, oven at 450 degrees for, I'm making this up. I don't have it memorized off the top of my head. I think it's 45 minutes. When you write your speech, you got to do some research, and you put that information that you don't want to forget right here. So that way you remember, you're like, oh, I forgot. You want to put it right there. So that way you can look down and like, oh, it's 450 degrees for 45 minutes. So that's also another reason, oh, excuse me, why we do this expanded outline. Number 2, oven for 45 minutes. Partway through, I add aluminum foil on the top to make it a little crispier on the top. Aluminum foil onto the top. There we go. Finally, serving. I like to serve my bread with jam. And most importantly, this recipe makes quite a lot. So you're gonna need to serve it with friends. Pretty simple. Okay, I'm gonna go through this whole speech again after I finish this part. Okay, conclusion. So we got an A, B, and a C. I'll add that in here in a second. We are going to resolve hook and restate thesis. Does this line up with what I have up here? Let's see if I can move it back here. Yep. I just want it to line up, line up, line up. Okay, he's all hooked, so I'm gonna finish telling Irish heritage story. You could write out your hook right there if you need to, word for word. I discourage it because then you look down and you're gonna read it the whole time. Finally, you're gonna restate your thesis. Hi, my name is Drew Eagle. Today I talked, it's now past tense, I talked about how to make Irish soda bread, period. So we got these A, B, and C is exactly what your main points are. And it's exactly the same up here. You see how it matches word for word, preparing the dough, ingredients, cook and serve, cook and serve. Let me make sure I get it. Ingredients first. The dough. Okay, and that is exactly how I make a expanded outline. And this is how you make a simple outline. You just don't include the 1 and the 2. That's the big difference. In midterms, you're going to need to write both a simple outline and an expanded outline. So this is a good time to start practicing. If you have questions about it, message me within Brightspace. So let me go over how the whole speech sounds. If I need to, if I realize I'm really under time or really over time, I would come back in and readjust these points. Maybe add a third. Maybe I'll add a C to all of them. Or maybe I would reorganize it because it has to have an A and a B. So I can't take away the B to make it shorter. So I would just have to reword it. So here we go. This is what the speech would sound like. And I'm going to use my mouse to for you to follow along. I have just found out that I am over a quarter Irish. My mom took a DNA test for Christmas and she found out she's over 50% Irish. So I wanted to celebrate my culture, celebrate my heritage, and I looked up a recipe called Irish soda bread. And I found out I've been eating Irish soda bread for several years. Hi, my name is Drew Stegall, and today I will inform you on how to make Irish soda bread. First, you're going to need some ingredients. Second, I'm going to talk about how to prepare the dough. Finally, I'm going to tell you how to cook and serve your soda bread. First, let's go over the ingredients. You're going to need some normal ingredients and some special ingredients. For the normal ingredients, you're going to need flour, sugar, eggs, and salt, just a little bit of salt. But that's what you need for your normal ingredients, just like for other bread that you might make. But this is important. Soda bread is different because of its special ingredients. I was actually really disappointed that soda bread was not made of Coke or Dr. Pepper. I was like, wow, that sounds interesting. No, it's actually made of baking soda. And this is something that should be in the normal ingredients, but it's not. It's yeast. You do not put yeast in soda bread. Back then, yeast was very hard to come by, so they had to find another way to cause the bread to rise. And that's where these special ingredients come in. Buttermilk and baking soda, whenever they're mixed together, have a chemical reaction just like those volcanoes, and it causes it to rise up and makes it nice and fluffy. So for your ingredients, you're going to need normal ingredients and special ingredients. Next, I'm going to tell you how to prepare the dough. First, you're going to mix the ingredients. You're going to mix the normal ingredients, and like you're going to whisk the egg, you're going to put it in, you're going to make a normal bread first. Second, you got to add the buttermilk and the baking soda mixture together. Now, this is important. In order to prepare Irish soda bread, you have to give it some special treatment. Butter is a normal part of making bread. But this time you don't warm up the butter and you don't stick the whole stick in. You want to leave the butter cold so that way you could cube it. And whenever you do this, after it's done baking, you're going to have warm pockets of butter, and that makes it extra delicious and extra special. So special treatment when preparing the dough is you have to add cold cubed butter. Another special treatment is you have to add fruit. Dried fruit of some kind, I like to add raisins or cranberries, and it just gives it extra flavoring, but you don't have to for soda bread. Soda bread doesn't need fruit, but it makes it extra delicious. Third, I'm going to tell you how to cook and serve Irish soda bread. First, you need to bake it. You're going to want to preheat your oven to 450, and once it reaches that temperature, you're going to cook it for 45 minutes. What I like to do to make sure the top is extra crispy is about halfway through, I add aluminum foil and I cover the top lightly, leaving lots of airflow. And what that does is it causes the top to get a nice crisp on it. Next, you're going to want to serve it, and you have to serve it. What I like to do is serve it with jam. You could serve it with jam or you could serve it with butter, but jam is my favorite. Now, this recipe makes a lot of soda bread. And so I think it is very important that you serve Irish soda bread with friends. Now, to finish my story that I was telling earlier, I found out I've been having soda bread since I was a kid. Turns out my grandma's maiden name was Brawley, and her great grandpa was O'Brawley. And we actually came from Ireland, but it was shameful to be Irish at the time. And so they dropped the O and just went by Brawley. And I would have never known that if my mom hadn't taken the DNA test and I hadn't started Googling these Irish recipes. Hi, my name is Drew Stiegel, and today I talked about how to make Irish soda bread. First, I told you about the ingredients you're going to need. Second, I talked about preparing the dough. And finally, I told you how to cook and serve. Enjoy. See, and that's how I did my speech. And I went just straight down the list here. I put important information, so if I forgot, like this oven at 450 degrees, I added it there. I would add measurements. Like you're going to need a half cup of flour. I didn't remember that today. I wrote this up on the spot to help give you an idea of how to write a paper. But if you're doing a speech, an informative speech where it requires measurements, you're going to want to write it in your outline so you don't forget it. Now, let me show you how to save your outline. This is very important. I will take off 20 points if you don't put it in the right format. You come up here, you're going to hit File and Download. And you see there's all these downloads. You're going to save it as a PDF. You see? It's an untitled document. You can name your PDF right here. Drew Stiegel, soda bread outline. Simple. It's that easy. You could do it. And then it's just down here. If I wanted to get it with the new name, File, Download, PDF. That easy. Doc, all of these other file formats move the words around. They they change the font and make the format go right out the window. So that is why we have to do PDF. If you have, and a lot of these formats like this, ODT, RTF, HTML, text, CPUB, it won't even open on my computer. I have to go download it from Brightspace, go to a different computer, and try to open it from there. So it's very difficult and it's not fun. So please do PDF. But at the end of the day, it's your grade. You might be like, oh yeah, I could handle 20 points. So I'm going back over to the Brightspace, and you can go to contents. There will be in the contents, there will be a Dropbox for it. And in the assignments, there will be a Dropbox for it. And you just drag and drop, like you just drag it and then drop it. But I'm not going to do that because there's nothing it's not open yet. Okay. If you have any questions, please let me know. I hope this has been very helpful. I'm sorry you can't just copy and paste like I thought, but what's nice is now that I've made it over in Google Docs, I can just reuse that same one over and over and over again. Like nonstop, like I just change it and it's all formatted for me. So there's that. For your speeches, you don't have to do an expanded outline. You only need to do a simple outline. You can use an expanded outline if you think you need it. For the group project, I recommend using an expanded outline because it's going to be a longer speech. For your midterm, you're going to need to know how to do an expanded outline. And last time, just to get it clear, if you move, thank you. You want to, the difference between an expanded outline and a simple outline is this 1 and 2. Anything after the A and B is extra. Let me show you over here, just so I'm being extra clear. This is a simple outline. Look, A, B, C, A, B, C. That's simple. Go back. Expanded outline is still has the ABC, but it comes out at least to a 1 and a 2. But you could have a smaller point, and then a smaller point, and a smaller point. You could have lots of small points. It doesn't matter, but for it to be an expanded outline for your midterm and for your group project, it has to have a 1 and a 2. Okay, I think that covers everything. If you have questions, message me. I'll see you on Monday. Bye.